Niche or die? Really? Do you need to niche? How difficult is it? How narrow does that niche need to be? Is it always a good idea for every company? I've had so many great questions. I wanted to dedicate today's podcast to looking at, do you really need a niche? And if so, why and where do you start? Hi, and welcome to the Driven Female Entrepreneur podcast. I'm your host, Melitta Campbell, award-winning business coach, value whisperer, and founder of the Dream Clients Blueprint, your step-by-step guide to communicating your true value with confidence and attracting more of your perfect clients. Each week on this show, I bring you practical advice and tried and tested techniques through my own experiences and those of other successful women in business. Our goal is to help you dream bigger and confidently achieve more in your business and life without burning out or changing who you are. And this week, I have a special invitation for you because next week, I am giving a special masterclass on my secrets to niching with confidence. So over the last 3 decades, I've seen the patterns in what works when it comes to communicating your value to a specific niche of clients. And I am going to be sharing with you exactly how to go about that in a way that feels comfortable and allows you to connect with your audience on a deeper level. You can sign up for that free masterclass at melittacampbell.com/training. We'll be live next Tuesday afternoon here in Switzerland, which is early morning for those of you over in the States. And since I'm talking about niching next week, I've been having some great conversations with my community about niching and their questions around niching and do you need to do it? How do you get it right? Where do you start? And so this week's podcast topic is niche or die. Really? Do you need to niche? How difficult is it? How narrow does that niche need to be? Is it always a good idea for every company? Are there industries where it's not worth niching, or are there industries to avoid because they're oversaturated? I've had so many great questions. I wanted to dedicate today's podcast to looking at, do you really need a niche? And if so, why and where do you start? All the questions I've received, I've grouped those fears and concerns into these categories. So there is the fear of excluding people who could be benefiting from your services. There is the fear of missing out on potential impact or income. The concern about being boxed in, being seen as one thing and stuck there forevermore. There is the concern of choosing the wrong niche and potentially getting then stuck in the wrong niche or wasting a lot of time, money, and energy in the process. There is the fear that your chosen niche is saturated. And there is then the big question of just not knowing where to start. So let me start by defining what a niche is, or what I see a niche is. And a niche is a relatively new term to me in terms of I didn't hear it 30 years ago when I started out in marketing. In those days, it was called your segment or your ideal client or your target client. So you may know niche as any of these other terms. It's really talking about who are your right fit clients, who are the best clients that you can work with. And then once you know your ideal clients, I call them dream clients because it's the opposite to nightmare clients. If you've been in business any length of time at all, I'm sure you've had at least one of those nightmare clients. So it's about defining who are those dream clients and then focusing everything you do, say, and create on those dream clients so that you can create a relationship with this segment, that you can start to build trust and credibility. You can share your knowledge in a way that's meaningful and really connects with these people and encourages them to take that next step and work with you. But niching your business does take clarity. You really need to know who it is that you're targeting, what it is that you offer that's valuable for them, and what that offer is, your product. I've seen a lot of businesses struggle to attract clients, but looking into their business, they don't have a clear offer. And it's certainly not an offer that has been created for their ideal clients to help them get specific results. And that's really what it takes. That's what I'm talking about when I mean clarity. It takes courage because you are saying, these are the people that I get great results for. And that takes courage on two respects. One, you have to own the value that you bring to your clients, which can trigger all kinds of imposter-like feelings, these mindset kind of worms that can open once we push outside our comfort zone a little bit. It also takes the courage to say, these are my clients. So you have to say, these are the people that I work with exclusively, more or less exclusively, we'll come to that. And this is why I'm brilliant for them. This is why I help them get results, and I'm really passionate about that. And it takes consistency. So you need the clarity, the courage, and the consistency. And that means being consistent in your message and in your market and not flip-flopping. And I see this a lot. And that's what has a negative impact on your ability to attract clients in, because they're thinking, oh, I thought she did this, but now she appears to be doing that. Maybe I'll wait a moment or find someone else. So it stops you building that trust and that value generating relationship with your potential clients and then your dream clients as well. So you really need to be consistent in your niche and in your marketing and your offers and everything else to do with your business, which doesn't mean you have to be rigid and stuck, but we'll come to that in maybe another episode. It's quite a juicy topic. So I believe that when you know who your clients are and why they will love you and your approach, it will help you naturally differentiate and stand out. And these days, marketplaces are not necessarily saturated, but they are very competitive, particularly in the online space and particularly in areas like coaching. Since COVID, lots of people have taken their business online. Lots of people have become coaches. So how do you stand out? And the answer is to know who your ideal clients are, know exactly what you're offering them and why that's so valuable in their eyes. And so you can really stand out as different. Narrowing your focus will also save you a lot of time, frustration, and money. And it will allow you to have more impact. And that's going to bring you a sustainable income and you'll feel proud of the difference that you're making. So if that all sounds good, if that sounds what you're looking for, then let's dive in and bust some of those fears that you may have. So the first fear is having a clear niche, and therefore people outside that niche will be missing out. So you need to understand that not everyone is your dream client. So I can understand if you are something like a life coach, that's so broad. You really could be using those skills and that coaching toolkit that you have to help anyone. But that doesn't mean they're going to be a great person for you to work with. There are certain personality types that just don't suit you, that you just don't get along with. There are people who won't do the work between sessions and will have crazy expectations of what they want from your collaboration that just doesn't align with what you really offer. And they wouldn't be ideal to work with. There are people who just aren't willing to pay. They're not going to be ideal to work with, because although we would love to help everybody, we do need to build a business. We need that income and profit if we're going to be sustainable and if we're going to make a difference in the world. So we do need people to be able to pay for our services and for them to value us. And there are people out there who have very different values and ways of thinking and ways of operating to how we operate, think, and our values. And trying to work with them is a recipe for disaster. It's not going to make us feel happy and fulfilled every day. So once you are out there and you're trying to work with everybody, then you will soon start to have conversations with people and you may think, I don't really want to work with this person. And even if they can pay you, there may be some red flag out there and you want to lean into that. If alarm bells are going, trust that instinct every time. And if you go back and listen to any of the interviews, I think pretty much on this podcast, you will hear time and time again that when we don't listen to our instincts and our wisdom and that inner sense that something isn't quite right, when we don't listen to that, things don't go according to plan. They don't quite go the way we want to. So take confidence from the wisdom of those other experiences and listen and trust your own gut feeling. It is powerful. It's not just some whim. Your gut feeling is based on your own wisdom, your own experiences, and the experiences of your ancestors passed down to you through your DNA. It's your body sharing a message with you. It's sharing wisdom, and it doesn't share that in words. It shares it in feelings and emotions. So listen into those. So firstly, not everyone is your dream client. You want to define what makes someone a dream client for you to work with, for you to collaborate with, so you can get amazing results. You can enjoy that process and you can have a bigger impact. Because when you work with the wrong clients, they're going to destroy your mindset. They will have your imposter-like feelings going crazy because they will be asking you to do things that aren't in your zone of genius. They aren't part of your offer. They'll make you work harder. They won't get great results from working with you, which will make you question, have I done the right thing? Am I really good enough? And again, it's just feeding that imposter. So you want to make sure you're working with the right clients who are going to confirm your awesomeness, confirm your ability to help people get amazing results and transformations, confirm that you are good enough, you are expert enough, you can help people get the results that they truly want, you can have an impact in this world. So working with the right clients is really key for your mindset as well. Working with the right clients also saves you time, money, and energy. Just imagine if you created maybe it's a nonprofit and you want to help every person, every tree, every animal, every ocean. How much effort would you have to put in? How much money would you have to invest in all of the different causes you would need to invest in to make a difference? Hopefully you can start to see in this analogy, you would be spreading yourself and your resources so thin, you would have zero impact. However, when you choose a focus and you can spend all your time and energy and resources in serving that one market to get that big result, then you can have a really impressive impact that you will feel proud of. You will be being that role model for your family and your network and your community. And you will start to have so much more momentum and confidence and everything in your business. So you really want to focus where you can have the most impact. And once you know who your ideal clients are, you can start to connect with them on a deeper level. You can use your messaging and your marketing to help them already, to make them feel less alone. You can empower them. You can be their champion. If you're trying to be a champion to everyone, you can't do that. The messages need to be specific, and people only pay attention to what's interesting to them. They're always interested in what's in it for me. And you just can't possibly get that across in a clear message if you're targeting everyone. You really want to focus so that you can build that connection, that trust, that relationship. And it helps you to stand out. When you know the results you get for the people that you work with, you can start to stand out as the go-to person in your industry for this result or for this kind of client. And that's going to attract you more opportunities as well, and better partnerships, better clients. It's going to be this virtuous circle. And this idea that an industry is saturated is a bit of a myth. I remember having a conversation with a mentor of mine several years ago on this topic. And he asked me if I knew anyone who doesn't have a bed. Of course, I don't personally know anyone who doesn't have a bed. And lots of people I know have more than one bed. And he said, okay, so everyone you know has a bed. Do you know of any bed shops? And I can drive 20 minutes in any direction and I'll reach a bed shop. And his point is that even in an industry where everybody already has that product, life changes. People get divorced, people grow, people have back pain, and they need a different bed to the one they have now, or they need a new one or a bigger one, or their situation changes. Maybe suddenly they have the resources to buy a luxury bed and they want to invest in that. And people have different needs for their beds. Some want a sofa bed or a big bed or a small bed or all kinds of different beds. So even in a market that could be seen on paper as saturated, there is a lot of opportunity. So there are few industries that are genuinely saturated. There's always room for people who are differentiated. If you're going to go into a market where there is a lot of competition and you're going to be just like everyone else, you're going to really struggle, because how does someone choose you when you're the same as everyone else? If you have too much choice, it's really hard to decide on things. I keep saying this, a confused mind doesn't buy or buy into anything. They can't make a decision if they're confused, if they're not clear. This feeds back into the clarity I was talking about earlier. If they're not clear how you can help them in ways that are different or better to anyone else, then they're not going to choose you. So you need to niche to help people make a decision and the right people to decide that you're the one to work with. So there's no such thing as saturation, just being a bland, vanilla business that doesn't stand out and therefore doesn't get chosen. And that's where the saturation happens. If you stand out, if it's clear what your difference is, how you help people, then you will always find clients. It's also that opportunity to have more income and impact, because you can focus your time and attention on creating that impact, on working with your clients, giving them an exceptional experience and just the results that they're looking for. And that is always going to be followed by the right income. So hopefully that has helped you shift your thinking around niching and see that, yes, it really is worth taking the time to find your ideal niche. And what's good to know is that you probably won't get it right straight away. It's only when you start working with clients, you'll think, oh, these people I thought I could have a big impact for, or they would be a dream to work with. Actually, I don't enjoy working with them so much, which is my experience in my first business. I had the skills. I could do a really great job for people doing communication consultancy and writing speeches and articles and reports and sales presentations and all kind of things like that. But the clients I was working with actually turned out to be not as fun as I expected. They paid a lot of money, but the fun and the personal growth wasn't there either. So they were not my ideal clients. They were not my dream clients. So I took a step back, really had to rethink, who are my dream clients? And it can be that simple to start finding your dream clients as asking, who do you enjoy working with? As I mentioned earlier, not everyone is your dream client. There will be people who do not align with your values, who do not believe that your approach is the right one and will not value the way you do business, or they'll just have a very different personality. And these people aren't going to be fun to work with. So here are 5 questions to ask yourself. The first is, who do you enjoy working with? And then, who values your process and expertise? That special way that you approach business, that thing that makes you stand out as different in your marketplace. Who wants that? Who values that difference? And who do you get the best results for? And who gets the best results from working with you? It's that collaboration part. If you're a coach or a consultant, you're not just there to serve them, you're there to collaborate. It's a two-way relationship. So who do you get the best results for? As we talked about, people need to be able to pay. So who can afford to pay you? And who can you realistically reach? So you may decide, oh, well, I could work with billionaires. They can definitely afford to pay me. But can you realistically reach them? Do you have them in your network? Do you know how to find them? Or do you have a means of finding that out? If not, maybe you need to find a different niche. So think about who you can realistically reach as well. Ask yourself those 5 questions and you'll be well on your way to narrowing your focus down to just working with your ideal clients. Now, there's a lot more to niching, of course, and I would love to invite you to join me at my Secrets to Confident Niching masterclass next week. I'll be sharing some lessons and learning for about 45 minutes. There's going to be a couple of games to play as well to help shift that mindset. And I'll be doing a live Q&A at the end as well. So if you have any outstanding questions, if I didn't address your fear or your question around finding your niche, you can ask me live. I'll be there for at least another 30 minutes at the end, if not more, to answer as many of your questions as I can. For those that attend live, of course, if you can't attend live, you will not have access to a replay, but I will give you access to the video highlights of what we covered. So you still get all of the learning. So register at melittacampbell.com/niching. And for those of you who come to the masterclass and you find it helpful, but you want to go a bit further, you want a bit more guidance, I'll be showing you how you can get access to that as well. I've got something quite special up my sleeve for you. So do come along to that masterclass. Register at melittacampbell.com/niching. There is no charge for that masterclass. It's really my gift to you to help you build and grow your business. I'm really on a mission to help more women and heart-centered entrepreneurs to embrace their value and bring that out into the world. What will the world look like if everybody is living their purpose, making a difference, having that impact as they envision it in their mind, and earning that income? That's a world I want to live in. So I am giving this to you for free to help kickstart that process, help create that amazing world where we're all stepping up, bringing our A game to make a difference in the world. I'm feeling so proud about it and earning an income that we can then invest back into making this a great place to live. So I hope you found this episode valuable. If you have, please do leave me a review on iTunes. It helps more women to find the show and find all of the wisdom over the last 170 odd episodes. And don't keep this to yourself. If you have a network of business friends, do share the episode with them as well so that they can also benefit. Because I really feel that having that clear niche that's working for you in your business is one of the most important things you will do for your business. And it makes everything else so much easier once you nail it. And I'm really looking forward in the masterclass to helping you do just that. So I will see those of you that sign up for the masterclass next Tuesday afternoon, European time, early morning in the States, and other times in other places. I look forward to seeing you then, and right here next week on the podcast next Thursday. Bye for now.